Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio K-Man's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio K-Man's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
And good afternoon, Radio K-Man Nation, and a happy wet Tuesday to all of our loyal listeners. As always, you're tuned into the station of the nation, Radio K-Man, and I'm Raymond Singh, attempting to fill the big shoes of Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Thank you for letting us into your homes, cars, and offices for today's episode of Talk Today. We have 3 feature segments today, including the Lions Club of Grand Cayman here to discuss PACE, the HSA discussing EMS services, and we will be meeting several of our contestants from this coming weekend's Miss Teen Cayman Islands pageant. On that note, we would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Miss Khadijah Ebanks on her recent Miss Cayman Universe crowning last weekend. August has definitely been a tribute month for Cayman's young women. Along with Miss Ebanks' crowning, we have seen the recent Under-14 CFU football title, and of course this week's Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers taking place at the Truman Bodden Sports Complex, as well as the Miss Teen Cayman Islands pageant this coming Saturday. As always, we do welcome your feedback and questions and invite you to join the conversation. Simply dial 1-800-534-TALK. That's 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037. Stay tuned for Talk Today following this disclaimer.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email Talk Today at candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow,
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm your stand-in host, Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio members of the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, Lions Alfonso, Ursley, and Lion Lynn. Full tongue twister. And I do want to say a quick apology to Miss Khadijah Bodden. I apologize for saying your name incorrectly just now. I had Miss Susan Watson in the background saying, you messed up. But gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
So we're here to discuss PACE and several of your upcoming events over the next few weeks here. Walk us through what's going on with PACE and the Lions Club these days.
Well, PACE, as we all know, is a venture picked up by the Lions Club of Grand Cayman to educate men primarily on the health issues, primarily prostate, colon, and testicular cancer. Men have this phobia about us being tested and the way tests are being done. So we're trying to educate everyone, men especially, but women also, who are the backbone behind men.
Lionel, anything?
Yeah, as Lionel said, we were trying to bring awareness to young men and older gentlemen as well, just to, the importance of being proactive and, going to get tested. We have doctors which we're going to go and have seminars with and educate the public. And after we do those, we have an event, which is a walkathon, which comes up in September. We'll be talking about that a little bit more later on.
Now, when we talk about, you mentioned, Lion Ursley, the men and the phobias and fears of getting tested and some of the historical stigmas around getting checked for these various ailments. What are some of the ways you're going about combating the phobia side of it to get men to come out to these seminars and come out to the educational programs that are on offer by the Lions Club?
Raymond, if I can jump in here. Education, continuous
bombardment, I guess, of the public in general. When we first started working with the prostate cancer issues a couple of years ago, this is something that the Lions Program came and attempted, I would say probably 20, 25 years ago. And you may get 10 to 15 men coming out. And they wouldn't come and sit down. They'd stand up around the corner and kind of listen to what you had to say. Because men don't like to admit that they have issues, especially if it has anything to do with anything to do with sex. And the prostate is one of those connected pieces of the male anatomy. We got the impetus to really take this to the general public in 2011 when we lost our past president, Delano Hislop, to colon cancer. And one of his challenges to us was, I beg you guys, don't let this happen to you. Because his death was, I believe, preventable had he had regular checkups. And that really is the only cure, is early detection. And you can only have things detected if you go to your doctor on a regular basis, have your checkups like they recommend. And that is our job, to continually educate, to encourage men to come out and listen to us. Even if you don't want to come out to our events, but you hear us talking on the radio now and you realize that you're in that group that could be vulnerable, go see a doctor.
Now, when we talk about the age of those affected by these ailments, are we finding young men maybe more receptive to getting checked, or is this a universal thing across all age brackets for men that it's
Well, I think men are doing a whole lot better. We will have events now that we will get 75, 100, 150 men that will come out and sit and listen to a full program from a doctor and ask questions publicly. And that is something that never happened, before. But I think worldwide, because of the education process, men are understanding that it makes a lot more sense to get involved, ask questions. We talk about there's certain age groups for prostate checks that they recommend, but and also for colon. But there are also instances where people who are a lot younger, who are below that vulnerable group, are having issues. So there's no really magic number. But if you feel something that's different, you should have it checked. Don't just say, "Oh, that's it'll go away." That's not a problem.
No, we do want all men, young and more seasoned, to get checked. But what is that vulnerable age group that you mentioned just now?
Well, I think we look at for prostate issues. I guess 40, 45 is kind of the area that we think people are more vulnerable. And the same thing I believe for colon is now becoming an issue for people in their 30s, male and female, not just male. So the thing about it is that if you have your regular checkups with your doctor, whether you're 20 or 40, and something is going on, it's easier detectable during your regular checkups. But definitely, if you're over 50, you should be getting your PSA checks done for your prostate. 45, depending on whether or not you're in a gene pool with other family members who've had colon issues or prostate issues, because it's been proven that it's connected through genetics. So if you have a brother, a father, a grandfather, somebody who has had colon or prostate issues, then I think you owe it to yourself to get an early check. Nothing wrong.
Now, you mentioned that the checks have been going on for quite a number of years now, decades. Mm-hmm. Have there been any technological leaps or changes to the way in which testing is ever done, or are they pretty standard for what we think and know about these? We try to involve different doctors for different perspectives, and there are certain doctors that do things a certain way. But a PSA test is
that is one way of detecting whether you have an abnormal prostate. That don't have to mean that that is cancerous. It just could be some abnormality going on there. There's also the DRE, the digital rectal exam, and that is where most men have the issue with having that done. But it's an easy way. It's a very simple procedure. It's one of the quickest medical exams I've ever experienced in my life. You walk into a doctor's office and you can be out of there in 10, 15 minutes. So the DRE allows the doctor to feel if there's an abnormality there, and then that would then cause you to recommend whether or not the person get additional checks. Because you can have issues that are not cancerous, of course, but if you don't deal with those issues, they can become cancerous. There are other things that they're on the market now. I can't remember. I think there's a program that's being advertised on American television. I think it's called Color Guard. That is one way that some doctors are leaning towards now, where you can actually buy one of those kits and do a home test, and it kind of give you an idea whether you're, right. But other than that, you have to see a doctor. You get your regular checks. They have different ways of treating things nowadays, but I find that early detection is your best chance.
I mean, it's always that uphill challenge. We talk about the phobias, we talk about the invasiveness and the typical fears that men will have when it comes to some of these tests, and that's one of the barriers that you're always trying to get across, and commend the Lions Club for taking on this initiative.
It's gotten a whole lot better.
That's good. Lion Ersley, anything else you want to add to that bit of the conversation before we move on?
Apart from that, like Lion Alfonso has said, I mean, there's many ways of testing and stuff, and we must be thankful to the doctors who partake in this educational venture that we're on, and even we've had some outstanding personnel in the community who have come forth and be a representative and trying to help us pass a message on. You have some people like Mr. Roy Borden, Mr. Clarence Glidden, who are men who have stood up and said, don't be afraid, be tested.
Thank you. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll explore some of the events and testing options that are going on, or Lions Club is putting on in the near future. Be back with more talk today right after this.
Parents, do you know what time it is? It's the most wonderful time of the year. But it's not Christmas time. But school is nearly back in session. Is your child ready for the school year? Stop by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village and pick up all of your child's stationery supplies. With 30% off selected items, you won't need to break the bank to get your little one prepared for the school year. You have enough to worry about. Make back to school a breeze with Savannah Pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, or call 946-3336.
Wednesday, August 21 at 4 p.m. You are invited to the grand opening of the new Superior Auto Apprenticeship Center on Seymour Drive. New opportunity, new beginnings, new home for Caymanian youth seeking career training and certification in high-demand trades like automotive repairs, air conditioning, refrigeration, plumbing, electrical, metal fabrication, and more. Come witness, celebrate the cutting of the ribbon. At 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, August 21, another milestone. The Superior Auto Apprenticeship Center, a not-for-profit program successfully training and creating employment alignment since 2010. Purpose and fulfillment.
The Cayman Islands Seafarers Association wishes to inform all members that there will be a general meeting on Tuesday, August 20th at 7:30 p.m. in the Seafarers Hall, 11 Victory Avenue, Prospect. There will be 3 buses from West Bay Town Hall, which leaves at 6 p.m. The Barnes bus route in Georgetown leaves the public library parking area at 6:45 p.m., stopping at the Cayman Compass building and the airport Fosters. The bus, marked Bobo $1, public transport, and is blue in color, picks up from British Camangan, Uncle Bill's, Walker's Road, Shedden Road, and Crew Road. The bus from East End pickups are the school parking lot, the gas station, and Wreck of the 10 sales starting at 5:45. Northside pickups are at Chisholm Store and the soccer field starting at 6:15. The Boddentown pickup is at Lorna's gas station at 6:45 and the Savannah pickups at gas station at 7 p.m.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for the one and only Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, here discussing the importance of men getting tested for prostate, testicular, and colon cancers. Gentlemen, thank you again for coming in. Now, we have several events coming, or the Lions Club have several events coming up in the next few weeks. Can you walk us through some of those events?
Well, we have tonight. We're actually attending the Seafarers General Meeting, and they are a great supporter of the PACE program. PACE actually stands for Prostate and Colon Cancer Events, but we do some awareness education on testicular cancer as well. So we are actually attending their general meeting tonight, and we have Dr. Shillingford, who will give a presentation on prostate and colon cancer. Incidentally, while it is a Seafarers annual regular meeting, a lot of women also attend their meetings. So women have the colon issues as well, and we have a Royal Medical Lab that will be there doing PSA testing for us. And these doctors in these labs do this out of the goodness of their heart. It's a contribution that they make to the community. Right along, they work right alongside with us. Dr. Shillingford is one of those doctors who makes a really good, simple presentation. That people can understand. He breaks it down for you in simple terms. So we are going to make a presentation there for the Seafarers tonight. They have always contributed to every one of our PACE events as a sponsor.
Okay.
So they do recognize the value of education on health matters.
Good for them. That's a fantastic. It's great to see that Seafarers, very powerful group in their own right, and a voice for both older and younger generations, stepping up and touching out or broaching the topic in this way. And what other events do we have coming up for the Lions Club?
Yeah, we also have an educational evening planned for the 3rd of September in Boddentown. That will be at the Church Hall in Boddentown on the 3rd of September, which we will also have a doctor doing presentation on PSA test, all free of cost. And we're inviting everybody to come out, especially those in the Boddentown area, to this event also that's on the 3rd of September at 7:30 p.m. That'd be at Boddentown United Church Hall on the 3rd of September at 7:30 p.m. We'll be having an educational evening.
As well as the PSA
as
testing.
well as PSA testing.
Now, you mentioned this is free of cost. How do the costs actually get covered for who pays for the doctor's time and for these tests to actually get done? Because it's a great service.
It's a voluntary service. They provide a voluntary service.
A fantastic initiative.
Yeah, they take time out of their valuable time.
Of course,
doctor time is very valuable.
No, absolutely.
But they're humans too, and they have family members and friends that they see, become victims because they don't get their checks on a regular basis. So they do make their personal contributions to the community as well.
That's it.
So there's no cost to our club, for it.
And that's open to the entire community to come on out for the Boddentown testing.
That's correct.
How often a year do you guys does the Lion Clubs organize these testings?
We attempt to do at least once a quarter.
Okay.
It don't always happen, but that's our aim, to do at least one educational evening a quarter. We we try to rotate it from each district.
Okay.
So that we'll reach to the whole community, not just part of it. So we're trying to do a holistic, island-wide educational
That's great.
program.
Have we done the
Not just island-wide, but we also do the BRAC as well.
That was my next question. All right, took it right out of my mouth. Well, that's great. Do we have a BRAC event coming up in the near future? Just for our BRAC listeners that...
Usually we try to wrap that into another event that we have in the BRAC. We missed it this year around the swim meet time.
Okay.
So we will have to reorganize ourselves now and get in there at another opportune time. But BRAC will be done during this calendar year.
Okay. And then sorry, did you say something?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we have an event coming up next month, September 22nd. It's called PACE. You'll see it circulating on Facebook, Instagram, here on Radio Cayman, also in news articles. PACE is our annual walkathon, which is going to feature a 5-mile walk, a 10K run, and we're introducing a 15K ride.
It's all K.
15K, 5, 10 and 15K.
Yeah.
Walk, run, ride. It's going to take place at the all-new Jasmine Villa, which is one of the recipients who will be receiving contributions from sponsors. Jasmine was formerly known as Hospice Care. Also, the Cayman Islands Cancer Society will be recipients as well.
Okay.
So funds raised will go towards, serving the needs of those as well. Like I said, the event takes place pre-registration online at caymanactive.com. And if you register on the day of the event, you have to come early at 6 a.m. The start time is 6:30. And we hope to have a great turnout of supporters as well.
What is the route for your event?
Yeah, the route has been made. We are encouraging, or we're trying to get most of the people to walk, and we're actually saying that we're doing more of a 5K for the walk. We're pushing 10K for the runners and 15K for the riders. We're not restricting any person or any group from not doing the whole distance of 15K, but we're advertising as 5K walk, 10K run, 15K ride. It all starts at the Jasmine Center on Westway Road, that's just opposite the Margaritaville. This is the 5K walk. We're coming out of Jasmine Center, turning right, going north towards West Bay. We continue on to West Bay Road north to just past the Galleria Plaza to the mini roundabout. We turn right at the Geico Link Road. That's the road that goes to the roundabout, to the Hyatt roundabout. Take the bypass, continue north through the Island Heritage roundabout. As we get over the bridge, we turn left on Safe Haven Road. Left at Safe Haven Road, and turning left, and we come to the Ritz-Carlton.
Okay.
That's the Safe Haven Road is the road that comes right by the Ritz-Carlton. Then we turn back left, headed back south towards town, and we continue straight back to the Jasmine Center.
Okay.
That's the 5K walk. The 10K is basically the same, but we do not turn as we go on the bypass.
Okay.
Past Island Heritage roundabout, straight through the Lion Tree Bay roundabout, cross the Public Beach roundabout, going north, continue to the Yacht Club roundabout. As we approach the Yacht Club roundabout, we turn back, come back towards town to the 7-mile Public Beach roundabout, turning right at the 7-mile beach roundabout onto the old West Bay Road.
Okay.
And coming south towards Georgetown and back straight to the Jasmine Center. Likewise, the 15-mile ride will follow the same route going north towards West Bay. We do not, through the Public Beach roundabout, through the Yacht Club roundabout. We continue straight on the bypass, the Estella Tibbetts Highway, straight to the top of Bodmin Road, and from the Bodmin Road we turn back and come back down. So it's the whole bypass.
The whole bypass.
And then on our way back we turn at the West Bay, at the 7 Mile roundabout, and then turn right back to the old West Bay Road, back to Jasmine Center, and we start and finish at the Jasmine Center.
Starting and finishing at Jasmine. Well, congratulations on putting in the 15-mile ride.
No, 15K.
15K ride. We do have one quick caller line if you just want to put on your headset for 1 second. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What causes prostate cancer and what causes colon cancer? Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Gentlemen, although we're not doctors here, are you able to offer any kind of enlightenment on
nobody knows what causes cancer, and but you're better educated if you make it to one of these educational evenings that we do have, where you can ask the pertinent questions for doctors. But unfortunately, we don't have any doctors here with us today, and I wouldn't dare to try to make a guess at any of that stuff.
Enough.
Yeah,
right.
so it's more about the prevention of different cancers. Like me, myself, I was educated mainly through my father at a young age, because he'd basically said, hey, listen, if I didn't get tested 25 years ago, I wouldn't be here today. And so, over the years, he took me to some his colonoscopy exams, different stuff, so I got to see firsthand what an experience was like. Thankfully, technology has advanced to the stage now we're part. It's probably not as painful. It's easier to deal with, even the flushing of this and so forth. So I myself, 5 years ago, had it colonoscopy done for the first time because the gentleman who was in the bed next to my father at a hospital, he was only 43 years of age. And 6 months later, he had died from colon cancer. And I'm like, I have 2 children to live for. So,
of course.
I got tested at 36, fine, no polyps. And I turned 41 recently. And I said, let me do it again. It's been 5 years. And they found 1 polyp. So if left unattended now, then, it could become cancerous. So it's good to get tested early. And, just don't think that, you're indestructible. Just go get tested and find out if it's for you. So.
Great. So excuse me, sorry. Before their segment finishes up here, walks through again the 2 dates that are coming up: September 3rd and September 22nd.
Yes, September 3rd is our educational evening at the United Church Hall in Boydentown, starting at 7:30, and then our annual Pace Walk Ride Run on the 22nd of September, starting at the Jasmine Center. Starts at 6.
It'll be there from 6 a.m. Race starts at 6:30 a.m.
Okay. And register at CaymanActive.com.
Correct.
And the price to register is?
$25 pre-registration. If you wait till the day of the event, is $30.
Great. Gentlemen, thank you so much, and all the best tonight with the Seafarers Education Seminar and the events on the 3rd and the 22nd. September. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
On that note, we'll take a quick short break. When we come back, we're meeting with Stephen Duvall from the HSA in regards to EMS services for hurricane preparedness. We're back with more talk today right after this.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All-Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you. The best back-to-school sale is now at Reflections. Buy one, get one half price on all back-to-school shoes. Over 100 styles of your favorite brands. Nike, Adidas, Puma, Reebok, and more. Back-to-school savings on shoes for toddlers, children, teens, and adults. Buy one pair, get the second pair half price. Or buy one pair of shoes and get a backpack half priced. The best back-to-school sale at Reflections. Now located on Shedden Road, across from Napa Auto Parts, beside Mango Tree. Reflections.
Support our port, support our tourism.
So what are you saying, Brownie? You looking concerned about something?
Okay. I hear some people talking about the new cruise burden thing that can cause a lot of harm in Georgetown and Hogstye Bay and even to 7 Mile Beach. They're saying it should be built some other part of this island. Now, what you think about that?
Well, my darling child, our old-time captains had good sense, you know. They know why they chose Hogstye Bay for the harbor. So why go someplace else now?
That's kind of true, you know. But what about the dredging?
Don't you worry, there'll be no dredging in Hogstye Bay. Them piers are going way out in deep water and they're being built on pilings, so all the water and all them pretty fish will still be flowing back and forth.
That's okay. I'm feeling real good about this cruise burden thing now. This is a win for Cayman.
Sure is, Brownie. That's why Asuke supports the port and supports tourism.
Support our port, support our tourism.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for our show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio Mr. Stephen Duvall from the HSA, here to discuss EMS services that are available during hurricane time. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's always great being on.
Thank you. So, well, I mean, it's always, we never like having the conversation about hurricane times. No one enjoys this time of year for that particular reason. But it's an important conversation to have, especially in understanding what services are available, especially when it comes to injuries in the EMS. So walk us through some of the elements of EMS planning.
Hurricane preparedness can be quite stressful for a lot of people, whether it's post-traumatic experiences. The event, again, can be quite unsettling. I think it's key to reiterate what HMCI has expressed. Preparedness, the proper planning, proper communication is going to be key. Specific to health, I know we have had many representatives come on and discuss about having proper meds on board, a proper length of supplies, individuals on dialysis, individuals that are predisposed or homebound. These are individuals that we would expect to communicate or reach out to our public health department. Every year we design and develop a list that we can actually reference, especially in prior to shelters opening, that we can go collect individuals, that it can be taken to medical shelters. So there's a whole bunch of different logistics that go into hurricane preparedness, hurricane response.
Now, in regards to how people from the community can actually tap into those services of the pickups and that,
sure.
The system of logistical planning.
Absolutely.
How can they?
Well, the key contact is going to be Nurse Joanna Rose Wright. She heads up the public health department that specifically deals with that. So there's an outreach program where the district health centers are very they have intimate knowledge of individuals within their community that requires these transports. And there are specific more to indigent individuals that are bedbound that really require the need. And then they're taken to a specific medical shelter, because not all shelters are medically based.
Of course.
We have 7 that are distributed throughout the island. Just to elaborate on that as well, the medical shelters, if someone is going to be assigned, say for instance a patient who for any specific reason is bedbound, the recommendation is that you have your caregiver with you. Okay. The concept of the shelter is not necessarily to drop someone off for them to be taken care of.
Of course.
So their caretakers should be with them. Now, in the event something does happen within the medical shelter, there is a diverse team of healthcare professionals that can provide care, whether it's psychological, nursing, physician, and so forth. So they can mitigate and manage. So if someone is in their third trimester of pregnancy, despite we would ask them to communicate with their OBGYN in advance, they can provide assistance. If someone has an asthma, someone has a chest pain, someone has a minor discomfort, those things can be cared for within those medical shelters.
Now, you mentioned caregivers, the recommendation being that caregivers should accompany those they're caring for. Obviously, when it comes to hurricane time, there is a lot that happens, and a lot of logistics, unfortunately, do get thrown out the window when it comes to dealing with emergencies.
Right.
What are the options available to those who don't have a caregiver but still need, or are bedridden or homebound?
Yeah, again, the key thing is going to be reach out to your public health centers, have the discussion with them, get the best guidance. It could be a matter of getting early care, early intervention that can mitigate the need for you actually going to the shelter. So there's different dynamics, but I think reaching out to your public health center, speaking with the public health nurse, speaking with your physician, and getting the best game plan is going to be really, really important.
And you mentioned there's 7 shelters that are medically suitable.
Correct. So
where are those?
So they're all logistically located within Northside, Prospect, West Bay, Georgetown. An example is the Credit Banks in Northside. These shelters can hold from a variable of 150 up to 1,100. So they will subsequently fit the needs of the district. There's always need for expansion. This is where we encourage individuals to have personal preparation, ensure their homes are safe, that they would mitigate the need for having to go to a shelter, unless they're in an area that's been recognized that they have to evacuate. But both regular shelters as well as medical shelters are disseminated. I would encourage individuals to really visit caymanprepared.gov.ky and see what options are available. I know they have exciting news about having pet shelters. I think they've been assigned 2 pet shelters, and they'll discuss that more once they come on or communicate so individuals can know. Another key thing for EMS in general is the events leading up to hurricanes, especially in the warning phase and especially the watch and the warning phase. Our services will normally cease when we're experiencing tropical force storm winds, usually about 40 miles an hour. And it's not necessarily an issue with the vehicles responding, but there's debris. So we have to protect staff. Stepping out of the vehicle, there's a projectile object. So safety is going to be a very key importance of our staff responding as well. What we do find in hurricane warning and the watch phases is individuals rushing for personal preparedness. So there's boarding up homes, someone is going to get injured. So our call volumes, believe it or not, does increase.
Spike, yes.
There's also individuals that are not sure of what to do. They do have a loved one. Okay, where do we take them at this point? So I think the early planning of meeting with your public health, your primary care physician, getting a game plan, meeting with your family, have an action plan is going to mitigate a lot of that.
So you mentioned the tropical force winds being the current bar for when EMS services are going to stop. So during the actual hurricane itself, or during storm time itself, at what point does the EMS service come back online?
So once we deem it to be safe, so again, anything over 40 miles, and sometimes we can even assess it of 35 to 40 sustained winds where we feel it's unsafe for operations, then we would have to discontinue that. What then kicks into place is, or stakeholders like 911. If someone is still having a true emergency and we cannot respond, they can get pre-arrival instructions. So they'll call 911, they'll gather the relevant information. They may put their information into a queue that when it is safe to respond and do so, then we can respond to it in a timely manner. But during that actual impact and post-hurricane, there will be no response or activity purely because of a safety issue.
Okay. Interesting. Ultimately, the message is that everyone should be that much more planned and have a solid plan of action in place from now.
Absolutely.
Storm.
Exactly. I think, again, there's so many dynamics to it. If you have a family member who requires medical support, again, reach out to your public health center, speak to your primary care physician, have an active plan of action. Which shelter am I going to be transported to? Do you need assistance? Do I need a wellness plan now that you can mitigate that? Do you need assistance and guidance on how to prepare at home? May it be review your meds? Do I need to collect more medication? Do I need to have a family member shelter with me? So there's so many variables.
Of course.
So one plan doesn't necessarily fit all, but I think personal preparation is going to be key.
Random question then. With regards to seeking treatment within the shelters, is there an insurance requirement with regards to seeking services that are available?
I think during that phase, there'll be other mitigating factors that would manage that. Once everyone goes into a shelter, they're registered.
Okay.
And if there's special needs, those are identified. If there's a fee for service or insurance, I think that's dealt with specifically there or thereafter. I don't think it will be the primary concern at that specific time. I think the objective is hopefully everybody's fine and comfortable.
Yes.
But the key thing is the medical shelters are designed to prepare and to provide that support if needed.
Okay. And the other non-medical shelters, do they have any form of medical services available to them?
Well, the beauty about our medical sheltering, or not medical sheltering, but our sheltering system, and even when I travel the Caribbean and assess other sheltering systems, ours, I think, is quite diverse and very effective. So even the shelter wardens and the shelter support teams are first aid trained, and they can provide some basic support itself. So again, it's a great team, great setup. KMNprepare.gov.ky, you can reference if you're not sure what shelter you need to be accessing. It's going to be a good time to reference it now.
Okay. On that note, let's take a quick short break. When we come back, we'll talk a bit more with Stephen about some more hurricane preparedness that people can do leading up to a storm. Be back with more talk today right after this.
Fashion is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
I'm April Cummings with your latest headlines. As part of the ongoing upgrades to the Island Heritage Roundabout by the National Roads Authority, motorists are advised that they will be restricting traffic movements at the roundabout to northbound and southbound only, starting today through Sunday, August 25th. This is in order for crews to pave the inner lane. Drivers are asked to go slowly and keep an eye out for traffic diversions and drive with caution to not only ensure their safety, but that of work crews as well. In international news, thousands of people, mostly young male protesters, have been arrested and detained in Indian-administered Kashmir during an ongoing communications blackout and security lockdown imposed more than 2 weeks ago, an attempt to curtail unrest after a change to Kashmir's decades-old special status. This is according to high-ranking Kashmir police officials and police arrest statistics reviewed by the Associated Press. Some 2,300 people have been detained in the Himalayan Valley. The statistics show, and those arrested include anti-India protesters as well as pro-India Kashmiri leaders who have been held in jails and other makeshift holding facilities. At least 15 more migrants jumped into the sea today from the Open Arms rescue ship in desperate bids to reach the shores of Italy after 19 days on the boat in deteriorating conditions as Italy refuses to open its ports. With the situation on board described by Open Arms as out of control and desperate over Italy's repeated refusal to allow the migrants onto the southern island of Lampedusa, Spain said it was dispatching a naval ship to escort the A Group's boat and its passengers to a port in the Spanish island of Majorca. Those are your headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio Mr. Stephen Duvall from the HSA with a very important topic here on emergency medical services that are available before, during, and after a storm, and some of the preparedness tips that members of the community should be taking, especially if they have pre-existing conditions or any kind of medical conditions that they know they should be taken care of.
Right.
Stephen, can you walk us through some of the extra tips and measures that people should be taking to monitor themselves before a storm?
For sure. I think some of the key things for us, and again, this goes out to even the first responders in having them being personally prepared. Obviously, it's literally all hands on deck. So it's not just individuals who are responding but we encourage our first responders, fire, police, EMS, and others, to be personally prepared and as comfortable to respond, somewhat worry-free, so to speak. But for the general public, especially in our post-response, this is when we don't have the ability of responding due to the winds or the impact. Having the ability of turning up and seeing medications that are sealed, Ziploc sealed, that are preserved. Sometimes water or heat can damage medications that are vital. One of the most sensitive ones could be insulin. So a diabetic patient may require that. We want to mitigate against that. Other personal preparation is that if you have pre-existing medical conditions, have it readily available or posted within your Ziploc bag with the meds. At least if there's any traumatic injuries that you've sustained, at least if we open it up, there's a general history that we know we're dealing with as well. The other thing is, and I've expressed this in a number of forums, is as you're preparing your home for hurricane preparedness, individuals that use ply to cover windows and doors and so forth, be mindful that you're not covering your house number. So if there's a certain rescue, if there's a response to your home, we have the ability of quickly identifying. So suggestively, you can put your number, your last name, and your house number. This allows me to turn up. I know it's my number, your last name. I can call, hey, are you okay? Are you inside? This helps with the search and rescue process. Having a home that's simply secured, you're unsure of who's inside, what's inside, can be quite difficult. The other thing is post-event. There more than likely may be an interruption to electrical power. Individuals will therefore go to home heating devices. Example, generators. The thing we want to be careful of is ensuring that the generators are vented. We don't want anyone to be exposed to carbon monoxide poisoning. This can be quite lethal and deadly. So that's going to be a huge safety, and for people to be aware of that. So I think personal preparation with your meds, if you can provide a brief narrative or history that can be left in there in case we arrive.
Of course.
Making sure your home is secure it properly with proper numbering. That's going to be some of the key things. And again, encouraging our first responders to be as prepared as our ability to respond and assist everyone else. The other thing that I mentioned prior is that during the actual event where we don't have the ability of responding, catastrophic events are still unfolding. Someone may be having a stroke, a heart attack, sustained an injury, not a catastrophic, but a delivering pregnancy where someone is now stressed. The access of 911 may very well still be available. I would encourage everyone to then communicate with them. They can provide you with pre-arrival instructions. And again, that information is queued that post-event we can prioritize the urgency of calls and we can get to individuals in a more timely manner.
Thank you. We do have one caller on the line.
Sure.
Caller, good afternoon. Hello,
Good
caller.
afternoon. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, when it comes to the shelters, I would like to suggest that we have life jackets in our shelters, especially for our elderly people and our children.
Okay.
During a hurricane, there's a possibility of us having a tidal wave or a serious sea surge or even some serious rainwater that could cause the water to rise. The water could go as high as 4 to 5 feet.
Sure.
And we've learned that from Hurricane Ivan in certain areas in Cayman.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
No, I appreciate your input as well. Everything counts.
Thank you, caller. On that caller's point, what are the current contingencies for flooding within the shelters for the young and the elderly?
I think most of the shelters, especially since Hurricane Ivan, have been assessed. There's been a lot of improvements since Hurricane Ivan since then as well. So I think the shelter planning team has mitigated a lot of those risk factors. But as the caller mentioned, every one of these suggestions are important and should be taken into consideration. And that's why we have talk shows and call-ins to get their feedback. So it's something I have no doubt they'll take in consideration as well. Even since Hurricane Ivan, we've had improvements within our elderly homes. Example, the Pines. The Pines have been remodeled. It's much of a stronger structure. We don't have to relocate now a dozen individuals to variable places. They're within a safe zone. So there's a lot of infrastructure changes that has taken place since then, which creates a safer environment. However, we all know Hurricane Ivan is a classic benchmark, and we have to still be prepared against any possibilities.
One other question with regards to young children. You mentioned, because the caller just mentioned the young children element.
Right.
I know we're talking a lot today about those with medical concerns.
Right.
When it comes to children, there's a whole series of concerns that come with management of a whole nother smaller being. What are some of the tips you can offer as far as for parents on working with small children, or both before and after a storm?
Yeah, I think kids as well can be quite anxious as parents. It can be a very stressful time. I think parents can, or encouragingly, parents can design a plan that best suits the need of each child. They know their attention span, their attention needs, whether it's required books, whether it's required toys, things that they know will occupy them, create a structured mindset. The more calm they are, obviously parents are going to be calm as well. Kids may also kids may also have medical needs as well. One of the higher incidence would be respiratory base, like asthma, having their meds on board for high fevers, diarrhea, vomiting. But again, it boils down to meeting as a family, socially, looking at the needs. Is there a little grab bag? Here's the books, coloring books. Depending on the age group, it could be a video game that requires additional batteries. So each person has their chore. Each person has their little safety kit, their go kit. That if they do need to move to a shelter, at least they're personally prepared. So again, I think it's really key that parents also need to consider their kids in the preparation phase. Absolutely. And the stressors that goes with that.
Absolutely. before we wrap up our segment here, we only have a few minutes left in this part. You mentioned the contact with the HSA, Miss Joanna White, for preparation for those that are looking to make and are making the wise decision to prepare ahead of the storm. What are Miss White's?
So her email address would be joanna.rosewright@hsa.ky. If you don't have the ability of writing that down, just visit your district health center. Say, hey, I heard the program. I want to make sure that my mom and dad, who are bedridden or for any reason is bedbound, I want to ensure that I'm actually identified and I do require transport to a medical shelter in the event. Now, you may be bedbound and you have a well-structured home, you have a safety plan, and that isn't, you obviously don't need our support. But if you are in doubt and you want to ensure that you are part of the preparation phase, just reach out to your district health center and support can be provided.
And as far as the timing of of transporting those members to the shelters, what is the rough time frame that people are looking at before a storm? Is it 24 hours ish?
So again, this is going to have some big variables. So typically, a hurricane watch can produce quite strong winds.
Of course.
So we may have to assess how fast this is moving, how big this is moving, how accurate this is. Will the shelters be open a few hours ahead of time? So all these variables will be considered. The other thing we have to consider is that we still have emergency calls coming in.
Of course.
So there's a contingent to transport, but it's a contingent to answer emergency calls. So we have to mitigate against this, and the idea is that we want to have a sufficient lead time to provide a safe environment. That's the ultimate goal.
Of course. All right. Stephen, anything else you want to add on safety preparedness before we wrap up the segment?
Again, I think the key department to reference would be caymanprepare.gov.ky. Gives you a vast amount of information. It's important that we read from the same book.
Of course.
That everyone has accurate information. By visiting the website, they can look at the shelters, the locations, they can get personal tips, personal information, they can make contacts. So the more information, the more accurate information, I think is the safer the public is going to be in general.
That's great. Stephen, thank you so much for coming in, and we do appreciate all the information the HSA does put out for us.
Yeah, appreciate the platform as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
On that note, we'll take a quick short break. When we come back, we'll be meeting with our Miss Teen Cayman Islands pageantees. All right, we'll be back with Talk Today right after this.
Steve Higgins Productions, in association with the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens,
the Cayman Islands Cancer Society,
and the De Silva Family Trust presents
Music of the Heart. A fantastic evening of excellent music presented by Delia Winter,
April Marr,
and Steve Higgins at the Marriott Beach Resort, 7 Mile Beach, Sunday, September 1st, 2019 at 6 p.m. Sponsored by
Harney's,
Applebee,
SMP,
NCB Capital Markets,
Jamaica Tourist Board,
and Radio Cayman. Tickets $25.
Available at Funky Tanks,
Super Stitch, or any member of the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, or call
925-9134.
That's 925-9134. Proceeds will go towards the Cayman Islands Cancer Society and the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. That's Steve Higgins and friends in Music of the Heart. Sunday, September 1st at the Marriott Beach Resort. Don't miss it!
RC Fusion featuring Billboard pop hit songs and more from the 70s to the 90s.
RC Fusion.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. till 12. RC Fusion.
RC Fusion is proudly sponsored by Purple Dragon, building the strong leaders of tomorrow.
Cool.
Call 946-1241 or email purple@cnw.ky.
Don't forget to tune in every Monday through Friday for the 7 a.m. news, brought to you by Cayman National Bank, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, we are pleased to have in studio the contestants for the upcoming Miss Teen Cayman pageant. Good afternoon, ladies.
Hi. Good afternoon.
All right, so we'll do a quick introduction, if you don't mind. We're going to go around here, if you don't mind saying your names, how old you are, and what district you're representing.
Okay, so good evening, Cayman. I am 16-year-old Ashley Gooden. I'm your contestant number 1, and I'll be representing both the agricultural and historical district of Bodden Town.
All righty.
Hello, Cayman. I'm 16-year-old Jada Bodden, representing our country's very first capital, Bodden Town, as contestant number 2.
All right.
Hi, I'm contestant number 3, 18-year-old Monina Thompson, and I'm proudly representing our lovely capital, Georgetown.
All righty. We are missing... from Sue right now, Miss Amelia, who's not here at the moment. So we have...
Sade Parchment. I'm contestant number 5, representing the beautiful district of West Bay.
All righty. Thank you so much again for coming in, ladies. I do appreciate you coming in. Was it raining outside when you had to come in?
No.
All right, so you managed to dodge some of the rain. That's good to know.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you. So, if you don't, I'm going to ask a few questions, go around and get a bit of information about your personal histories and why you chose to enter this contest this year. We'll start with you, Miss Ashley. Was there a reason and motivation for you to enter Miss Teen?
Yes, there was. So ideally for me, I decided that this year I'd want to challenge myself, do something a bit out of my comfort zone, and just make myself more confident. So I thought, why not enter a pageant that I've been attending for many years? So my main aim out of this pageant is to, 1, grow in myself and to not only learn about myself, but also about my country.
Okay. No, sorry, when you said learn about your country, what did you mean by that?
Because participating in the pageant, we've been able to just go on lots of cultural day tours, heritage stuff, and it's been really good to learn more about the country that I didn't know before.
Fantastic.
Well, I've always gravitated towards, like, singing and performing arts. I've always had a fetish for it, so I said, why not enter in the Miss Teen pageant? Also, I would love to win the scholarship to be able to go to school in Canada to further my education in performing arts.
What school are you looking at in Canada?
I have not one in particular.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just, but you know Canada's
yes,
destination.
for sure.
Alrighty.
Yes, for me, educationally, the scholarship would be a tremendous help. It's something that is very needed, and I know that all of us can agree that's something we struggle with. Yeah. And personally, I've always put myself in situations to try and get myself out of my shell. A lot of people tell me I need to be more confident and just to get out there more. So I want to grow, and so this is my attempt of doing so, and also just to represent those girls who feel like they're the black sheep, they're the odd ones out. So I want to advocate for them.
Have you felt a confidence boost since you've been a part of the process?
Yes. It's a struggle, and it was also a gradual process with the confidence because I know that the me that I entered in wouldn't be able to stand on stage and do the rehearsals that we're doing currently. So I've seen some growth here and there, but there's definitely a lot more to go.
Good for you. Ms. Shade?
I decided to join because about a year ago I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, and this caused me to become very insecure. So by joining this pageant, I hope that it would help me to gain my confidence and just to help others embrace their natural beauty.
Now, are you comfortable going to some details of what is Graves' disease?
Okay, so Graves' disease is when it's an autoimmune disease, and it is when your thyroid produces too much of the hormone. So it causes different things such as bulging eyes, you get anxiety, and it can cause you to either gain weight or lose weight. So I've experienced majority of the things.
A bit of a roller coaster ride with a variety of elements.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. If you can turn the mic back to Miss Ashley for just a moment. Miss Ashley, I'm just going to read a part of your bio, and we'll go into a bit of an exploration about that part.
Okay.
All right. Ashley aspires to become a school teacher as well as a qualified child psychologist. She believes that education is one of the most important things in one's life. Outside of school, her passion for public speaking can be reflected on her involvement with the Youth Parliament and Youth Flex, the show for all people by young people right here on Radio Cayman. In addition, Ashley is a budding model. Modeling is where she is able to express her love for fashion and design. Now, when it comes to the element of being a school teacher and a child psychologist, what is the drive and passion behind that?
Okay, so for me, I've always grown up with people who've always aspired me to want to be better for myself. I feel as a teacher, you play an important an important part in someone's life, and working with children has always been a passion of mine. I gravitate to kids a lot, and I just like being there to mentor someone. So I felt that doing teaching would give me the opportunity to do that, as well as to help other kids to become as successful as they can.
Now, is there a particular age that you would like to teach?
Yes, definitely.
What is
I'd
that?
like to work with primary school kids.
So you didn't pick teenagers?
No. I mean, I feel like you have to start at primary school because that's where all the mentoring happens, and that's where you start the foundational areas before you go off into high school.
No, of course.
So yeah.
Is there now? Primary school covers quite a vast range.
Okay.
Do you want the younger side? Do you want the?
I'm looking at more of the older side where they're now able to communicate effectively, and we can work together to help them to become better. So I'm looking at more 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Around that year group.
Is there a particular subject that you have an affinity
Yes.
for? What is that?
So I'd like to major in English language.
Okay. What's the affinity towards? Is there a?
I feel that English language gives you the opportunity to express yourself. There's a lot of creating writing in that, and you can just kind of say how you feel. So that's my passion for working with English language and working with kids.
All right, great, thank you. Miss Jada, I'm going to do the same thing for every part of your bio, and we'll explore a bit about that topic.
Awesome.
All right. Jada is currently pursuing her associate degree at UCCI. Jada describes herself as being an active person. She served as a sports captain for many years while attending CHHS and competed in track and field until the age of 14. She also plays flag football for the team Giants.
Yes.
Her other high school achievements are serving as a prefect and being a part of student council. Let's talk about sports for just a moment. What was sports?
Sports is a huge part of my life. I grew up doing sports, and I'm kind of sad that I don't do it at the moment, but there's a reason for that. But in the future, I would love to go back to sports. I currently still do flag. I'm starting this season up in February, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I think it's very important that all youth try to get involved in sports because sports can provide a lot of vast opportunities, like going away for college, university. So I think we should encourage youths to get more involved in sports.
Of course. Now we have 6 focus sports here in Cayman, and track and field was one of your...
Yes.
What sport did you compete in track and field?
I competed in, you can say I did everything, to be honest. Okay. I started with 800, then I went to the 4 and 2, and I love high jump. It's one of my favorite sports, high jump.
So you did some field events.
Yes.
Were there any other field events you took part in? Or high jump?
No, just high jump.
Okay. And as far as flag football went, what was the inspiration to get involved into flag football?
So most of my peers at UCCI, they were saying that they were going to join, so I decided why not try out a new sport since I'm not currently active, and I started to love it. I have a passion for it now, so I can't wait to go back in February.
Do you play in the adult program?
No, I play in the junior.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as, do you see yourself playing flag football
in the future? I would say yes, but then no, because I'm so small, and I don't,
Well, it's not a tackling program.
Yeah.
It's a flag football.
But with training, I think I can become a great flag football player. So I think I would look at that in the future.
Fair enough. And one more question is, you're pursuing your associate's degree at UCCI.
Yes.
Is there a direction that you see yourself going with regards to your academics and career path?
Absolutely. So after I complete my associates this year, as I said, I want to go off to Canada and I want to attend a performing arts school would be great. And after that, I hope to move to the U.S. or something and try to get acting opportunities and modeling opportunities because I don't see myself doing a regular career path like being a doctor or a teacher. There's nothing wrong doing that, but that doesn't personally make me happy. So I would love to just go out there and do what I'm passionate about. So,
okay. Yeah. And performing arts is where that's
Yes.
at. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Miss Monina.
Yes.
Did I say that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. So same thing. We're going to go through a bit of your biography and walk us through some of the history here.
Cool.
So Monina has an active role in the community, having been vice president of the Key Club, a member of Interact, and supporting organizations through raising funds. Monina also enjoys to spend her free time doing voluntary acts such as beach cleanups, dog walking at the Humane Society, and helping at the Golden Age Home, an adult daycare center. Monina also has always loved taking part in sporting activities. She has done competitive swimming, making it to Carifta in 2014. She plays basketball, winning the Women's League, as well as volleyball, boxing, and football. She also has taken part in local marathons, such as the Cayman Islands Marathon and Walk for the Cure. It's quite an impressive biography you have there.
No.
I was saying to someone
you.
earlier when I was reading your bio that you're 18 years old and you've done quite a bit
Yes,
in that short time. Let's talk about your community service initiatives for just a moment. You've
Sure.
been the president of Key Club. What is Key Club?
So Key Club is a school-based club, and it's basically, run by the students. So you have different members, and I happen to be the vice president. And we do a lot of work within our schools and the community, and it's also it's like in almost all the schools in the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
And it's also known internationally. So you get to go to a convention called DCON. And so, it's just about community service and working with your peers.
What are some of the activities that the Key Club undertook while you were vice president?
So many. We put a lunch together at John Gray as to show our gratitude to the elderly.
Okay.
So we prepared a lunch, and we provided musical and entertainment. And we also made recycled dog toys for the Humane Society out of T-shirts that we got from home.
Recycled dog toys?
Yes.
What kind of toys were they?
So they were like chew toys. So
Okay.
we made them out of the shirts and created them in such a way where it looked like an actual dog toy, and they were able to play with it and use them.
Now, you've done a lot of community service initiatives, including the help with the Adult Daycare Center, you mentioned the Humane Society, and then your work with the president of the Key Club. What's the motivation behind the community service aspect to your biography?
Yeah. For me, if it was up to me, that's literally all I would do for the rest of my life. Like, I wish I could survive in that way financially. In some ways you can, if you're creative with it. So for me, it's just a passion of mine. When I'm doing community service, I honestly don't get that feeling from anywhere else. It's just a good feeling, and I prefer to give than to receive. So that's just it. It's just a passion that I enjoy doing.
That's great. Now, you also mentioned the sporting activities, and like Jada here, who has also been very active in the sporting world.
Yes.
You have a diverse career, including Carifta, basketball, volleyball, boxing, football, and the marathon.
Yes,
so
sir.
a diverse range there. What is your motivation for sports, and why do you feel it's so important to be involved in sports?
For me, it wasn't like, I have to do this sport and this sport. I just ended up doing those sports because that's something that I'm also interested in. I've always loved physical education, sporting activities. Also, I've kind of been like an awkward child. So for me, sports was my escape, just to kind of feel accepted and to show people that, I guess like I'm valued and that my hard work pays off, so that was just a coping mechanism for me for
Have
high
you
school.
found the confidence boost from sports as well as this involvement in the passion?
Yes. With sports, it's different because it kind of clears your mind. It's a good stress relief too. And you also feel good after you've worked out.
Of course.
So in a different area of confidence, I've gained that in myself to know that I am capable of it, even though you don't look physically strong. It doesn't mean that you don't have the strength to do it.
Nope, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Shade, same with you. We'll be a part of your bio and go through some of the details of the bio. Ms. Shade, she is currently pursuing a degree in social studies at the University College of the Cayman Islands with the hope of furthering her education in the areas of social work and family law. In high school, Shade was a prefect, VP of Human Resources for Junior Achievement, and completed the Chamber of Commerce mentoring program. Her hobbies include playing sports such as basketball, softball, singing, and volunteering at the Humane Society. Did I get that all right? All right. So we'll start with the social work and family law. What is the motivation to go into social work?
Okay.
And then the family law element as well.
Okay. So I chose this career path because I just want to make a difference in people's lives. I feel that is the best career to pick because you get to help people find homes and also care for them in a sense that you would, if they are struggling with finance issues, then you could help with that. Okay. So I felt that because I love to help people, this would be a great way to do that.
Okay. And the family law element? Do you see yourself going into practically being an attorney, being a judge?
definitely not a judge.
That's the hardest one, right?
Yes. But I feel that having studied social studies, that family law it kind of go hand in hand with social work, and that I'd be able to do more than just social work.
Okay. And as far as you've had a diverse career of sports as well.
Yes, I have.
What is that? So we have basketball and softball were your two primary sports.
Yes, I played netball and football as well. I also did swimming, but not like on the team. I did it for the school.
Right.
But that was just it.
And what does being involved in sports mean to you, and why do you feel it was so important to be involved in sports?
Okay, like Melina said, it is a coping mechanism. So I didn't feel that I needed to do it, but it's just something that I love to do. I love to be on a team, and I just love sports. So that's why I got into them.
All right. You mentioned being involved in junior achievement.
Yes.
And being the VP of Human Resources. What did being junior achievement mean to you? And for our listeners at home, junior achievement walk us through what is junior achievement, and then what it meant to you to be involved in it.
Okay, so junior achievement is when you pretty much get to make your own company and make a product to sell. So with this, you got the experience of being in a real business, and you got to just see how things really operate. So that is why I decided to do junior achievement, because I just wanted to see what each role was like. Through this, I learned how to communicate to others and to just market myself and everything.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Ladies, on that note, we're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, these questions are going to get a lot harder. Not to make you wonder. Just kidding. It's not going to be that much harder. On that note, we'll be back. More Talk Today right after this.
There are plenty of reasons to be a Logic customer. There's lightning-fast internet connectivity. There's the great overall customer experience. And now, you can improve your Wi-Fi connectivity with Logic Boost Wi-Fi for free. With Boost, you can extend your freedom to stream, game, and download seamlessly anywhere in your home, like your patio or your underground lair if you have one. Sign up now for any Logic Bundle package and get free Boost Wi-Fi for a limited time. Visit logic.ky for details.
Wednesday, August 21 at 4 p.m. You are invited to the grand opening of the new Superior Auto Apprenticeship Center on Seymour Drive. New opportunity, new beginnings, new home for Caymanian youth seeking career training and certification in high-demand trades like automotive repairs, air conditioning, refrigeration, plumbing, electrical, metal fabrication, and more. Come witness, celebrate the cutting of the ribbon. At 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, August 21, another milestone. The Superior Auto Apprenticeship Center, a not-for-profit program successfully training and creating employment alignment since 2010. Purpose and fulfillment.
Did you know that once properly sanitized, some tinned food items may still be safe for consumption after coming in contact with floodwater? In order to properly sanitize these tins, always remove labels, and then wash tins in a strong detergent solution using a brush to get rid of excess impurities. Tins must then be immersed in a solution made of 2 tablespoons of chlorine bleach per gallon of water for 10 minutes. Ensure that containers are air-dried before opening. For more post-hurricane food safety tips, visit the DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio the contestants for this coming weekend's Miss Teen Cayman Islands Pageant 2019. And I'd like to bring to the mic Miss Stephanie Scott, the chaperone today for these ladies.
Hello.
Hello. I actually want to pull your mic low. There we go. Miss Stephanie, can you tell us a bit about the details for this coming weekend's event so our listeners at home have a more in-depth understanding?
Sure. We are having our 39th, cutting us a little young there, 39th annual Miss Teen Cayman Islands pageant. It's happening this Saturday, August the 24th. Show starts at 7 p.m. sharp. Gates will be open at 5:30 p.m., so come find your seats early, and tickets are available at numerous outlets and also online at Eventpro.
All right, so some of those outlets are Funky Tanks, Lorna's Rubus, The Finishing Touch, Singh's Roti Shop, and of course Eventpro, as you mentioned. Now, Stephanie, talking about we're just coming off the weekend of Miss Cayman, and for this coming weekend, what are some of the benefits that you have seen for these young ladies in taking part in these pageants?
There's just so much benefits to entering a pageant. So many. I mean, the training that these girls go through, they learn etiquette training, how to manage themselves better, so time management, because we go from interviews. Some of them have jobs during the summer. Of course, we have training throughout that, so they have to be able to time manage. So you learn how to do that or improve on it if you already know how to do it. As well as Toastmasters, they work with them for public speaking as well as interview questions. And that's something that they don't necessarily learn in high school. So this is a great platform for them to be involved with, see how the process is, and this will help them throughout their lives. They'll need to do interviews to get jobs or internships, go away to college, scholarships. So numerous things that we are here to help them with.
Now, you mentioned the etiquette training. What are some of the elements that come in with the etiquette training?
Well, I know the first thing that comes to most minds is, food.
My first thought was where the spoon goes, right?
And the young ladies can tell you that it's more depth than that. It's how do you introduce yourself? How do you shake someone's hand? If you have to meet any dignitaries, which we've had our queens have done in the past, they go to different events. There's ministers there, the governors there, or we have persons from around the world coming to Cayman for whatever summits. They get invited to it, and they need to know what the proper protocols are. So that's all a part of the etiquette training.
That means quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned there's Toastmasters as well. So they are doing the public speaking and going through those. What are the other elements you mentioned as far as the training that come into the preparation for this?
So other than that, they learn about stage presence. So how to walk the stage, how to, sell it, I guess, in a short sense. That's the fun aspect, walking on stage wearing heels.
And who coordinates that element? Or is that Toastmasters as well?
No, that's not Toastmasters. We have our individual coach. Shout out to Miss Mahalia Seymour, and congratulations to her for getting second runner-up from Miss Cayman. So
congratulations.
We normally get involved. We normally get past pageant winners to train them. So we've had Miss Teens, Miss Cayman. I mean, we have Miss World now, so you can always ask someone from there. So we normally get them involved because they would have gone away to represent Cayman on a bigger stage, a bigger platform. And who else to get the best experience from than someone who's already been there, done that, to help them out.
No, of course. And for our listeners that aren't aware, what is your personal history with pageantry? Am I saying that correctly? Pageantry?
Yes,
pageantry?
Sir. Sorry. I'm the chairperson of the Miss Teen pageant. I've been the chairperson now for 3 years. Before that, a while back, I was a contestant in pageant myself in Miss Cayman. So
what year was that?
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember. That's so bad. I'm sorry. I think it was about. When was that?
A while
I'm trying
ago.
to remember. A while back, yeah. It's about 5 years ago, I want to say, roughly. So it was a little while ago. But I learned a lot from it.
Okay.
You know, that then entailed me to get involved with Miss Teen. And then, a couple years, and then I moved up to chairperson.
Now,
So
when you talk about, outside of the obvious of being involved with the pageant organizing, the life skills you learned when you went through the process, and because it is a process, it's an entire learning process, what are some of the skills that have stuck with you from your training days?
definitely the public speaking, how to speak. The young ladies will tell you, and they can attest to this, Toastmasters, they might be listening, and they will correct
They
you.
probably are listening.
Your
They're
and your
everywhere.
crutch words, and how fast you speak, and how clear. Other little things that I might be forgetting because I know they're listening.
They are. They're everywhere.
Yes, they are. But that's definitely one of the benefits that I really took away from, because I didn't know anything about public speaking or interview questions. Nothing of the sort until I did Miss Cayman, and we were able to have that training, and I thought that was awesome. I mean, everything else was great, but that stuck with me throughout. I mean, I've had job interviews. I've had to speak in front of crowds.
Of
I have to speak at the pageant, so I have to be able to not be nervous.
No, of course.
Not show that you're nervous if you are nervous.
No, absolutely.
So it's a great thing. Yeah.
And one last question before we pull the mic back over. Some of the ladies I mentioned, the confidence boost that has come with this, and how that's one of the major elements is, one, overcoming fear is always a big one. It's fear exists for everyone, but whether you submit to the fear is a whole other game in entirety. How did you find the confidence boost going through the process, and how has that helped you later on throughout your career?
I mean, I can relate to a lot of the girls when they say, sports and getting involved in other extracurricular tongue-tied this morning, tongue-tied this evening, sorry, helps with, boost your personality, boost your morale, help you become a part of something. That's why I entered Miss Cayman when I did it, was to, say, Stephanie, this is another challenge. If you can get over this, and if you can gain something from it, then it will only make you a better person. It can't make you less of a person. And
it's a great way of looking at it.
Even though you might not, you gain confidence from it. It might not be a confidence level of Kanye, but it's definitely you learn more confidence. You're not afraid to introduce yourself to someone. You're not afraid to speak in front of a crowd, whether it's a small crowd or a big crowd. So it does help, and then you feel like, oh wow, it's not as difficult as you thought it was. And the more you do it, that's when it boosts your confidence even more. So I mean, I'm not lying. I'm nervous to be on the radio because I don't normally talk when I'm on the when I come on the radio with the girls. But it's another hurdle to go over.
Absolutely, it's another adventure in that journey, right?
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
One more for the books.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I do
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. On that note, we'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get back to meeting our contestants. Be back with more talk today, right after this.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
King Sports Center takes pride in being more than just an ordinary gymnasium. For 14 years, their multi-purpose facility has been providing the community with a variety of sporting, recreational, and relaxation activities. King Sports Center has a bowling alley, lounge bar, multi-purpose rooms, powerhouse gym, rock climbing wall, bungee jumping, a 10,000 square foot rink, and so much more. For more information on the variety of services, call their friendly staff today at 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Are you going away but still need to verify your signature on the cruise port referendum petition? Then head to the elections office before you leave to confirm your details with officials. Have you signed the petition and are currently off island? Email the elections office today for verification assistance at office@elections.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today, in case you're just tuning in. I'm Raymond Singh, stepping in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. He'll be back tomorrow, don't worry. And we have in studio 4 of our 5 contestants for this coming weekend's Miss Teen Cayman. And so we'll turn the mic and the pressure back on to you and can let our audience get a better feel for who you are. So Miss Ashley, we'll turn the mic back on you.
Okay.
Now, reading again from your bio, Ashley is a budding model. Modeling is where she is able to express her love for fashion and design. Walk us through how you feel modeling is giving you that platform to express your passion for fashion.
Okay, so my passion for fashion, I guess, comes from the drive of just wanting to try new things and see what's out there. I started modeling about maybe, I want to say a year ago. Yeah. It's been something that I've been given the opportunity to just walk for causes that I am so passionate about, such as the Cancer Society and the Alex Panton Foundation, as well as just being given the opportunity to interact with designers from abroad. So that's been really eye-opening because I've been able to see different fashions from all over the world, as well as just get to interact with people who've been through that and just social network with other people.
Well, you mentioned fashions from all over or from around the world. What are some of the areas that we're talking about, and what have you seen that has really struck a chord with you?
Okay, so we've met a lot of stuff, such as from New York, and there was a company called Cool Creative, where her designs are basically familiarized with violence and stuff that are going on in the U.S. So she creates clothing that depicts that and helps to say that, our younger generation is who's going to be our future leaders. So it's important for us to protect them. So that's what her clothing line is about. And that was so eye-opening because just seeing how you can incorporate topical issues into clothing is really, I think, a cool idea. And I think it's so important for us to use those type of stuff to encourage other girls and other people to know that there is different ways to portray important topics.
All right, great. Ashley, thank you. All right, next we have Miss Jada, right?
Yes.
All right. Jada, your favorite quote is, "Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart." Walk us through why that.
So that's my favorite quote by Roy Bennett, because I believe if you're afraid of going for your dreams, you won't fulfill your true potential. So I believe if you go and believe by that quote, you can accomplish anything in life. For me, I want to become an actor and a model. To do that, you need a lot of confidence. So whenever I get fears in my mind, I just forget about it, and I remember that quote, and I just, go for it.
All right. The outside of this contest, where in the past have you been able to apply that quote to your life?
I believe you can apply this quote in everyday life, because in everyday life you're hit with different circumstances, And I believe you can...
Take your time.
Okay.
No rush. I'm just trying to figure out how you felt overcoming these fears, where you've been able to apply this previously, whether it be in school, whether it be in sports, or where you've been able to actually apply this.
Yes, I've actually applied it in sports.
Okay.
One time I was afraid to run the 400 because I wasn't feeling well.
Okay.
But I just suck it up, and I just went, and I came in second, so that's fine. Even though it wasn't first. I came in second, so it's fine.
You were in the race.
Yes.
That's what matters. Good for you. All right, Miss Monina.
Yes.
All right. Monina was awarded the Tourism Ambassador of the Cayman Islands in 2017. Talk to us a bit about what led to that Tourism Ambassador Award and what your views on tourism are.
Yes. So that competition was another competition I entered just for myself, to try and see, what I can do, how far I can go. It was a vigorous process. We had to submit an essay, and then out of everyone who entered, they select only 4 or 5 competitors, and that includes from Cayman Brac.
Okay.
And then you go on to do an oral presentation that's timed, and then you also have a random question. So that was the process, and I definitely then again was able to grow and learn a lot from that, because that involved public speaking.
Okay.
And for tourism, I'm passionate about what happens here in the Cayman Islands, and I know that tourism is one of those 2 big pillars that we have going on here. And so I am involved with what happens in the tourist industry, because it ultimately affects our way of life and how we live, and how Cayman sustains itself.
And from the essay that you wrote in 2017, what were some of the main or primary points from that essay, if you can recall?
Yeah, they gave us a specific topic for the essay, and I'm trying to remember what the topic was.
Okay. It's okay if you
can't. But I can't. No,
okay.
Obviously it was something about tourism.
Okay.
But all I can remember.
But it was a predetermined topic that they gave you to write on. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Shade. We'll just move on back here. Sorry. You mentioned in your, I'm going to go back to the social work that you talked about earlier. Shade would like to take this opportunity to bring up social issues that she hopes to see a change in as a future social worker. What are some of the issues that you've mentioned here as far as the social issues that you would like to address once you become a social worker? Are there any major issues in particular that you want to address?
In my opinion, the major issues in the Cayman Islands are probably just homeless people not having somewhere to stay, and I feel that we should definitely look about getting a homeless shelter so that these people don't just sleep on the streets. I also feel that another problem that we face is that there's lack of resources to help them. So if they don't have a status, then they're pretty much just there. They go to the hospital, and because they don't have the certain criteria to get treated, they pretty much just stay there and charge the hospital. So I feel that we definitely need to get more resources and incorporate a homeless shelter.
Okay. Any other subtle issues outside of the homeless shelter? Or is it? That's actually a very big one to tackle. So that's a very noble issue. Any other issues as far as that at this time?
Not that I can think about.
No, that's not a problem at all. Great, thank you. All right, we'll go right back around. Sorry, I'm kind of through the notes here. Ashley, you chose for your platform to be based on both girls and women empowerment. She hopes that by encouraging and uplifting other girls and young women, it will bring about social innovation and a new generation of female leaders. This, in effect, will highlight her life motto, Aspire to Inspire. It's a great quote, by the way. As far as the social innovation that you reference, what are some of the social innovation elements that you see coming about by empowering girls and young women?
So for me, with regards to the social innovation, I'm just really trying to uplift other girls to step out of there and become bigger leaders in society, to take those roles that we see like typical people having. I want girls to feel that it's okay to get out there. It's okay to be a boss or a CEO. There's nothing wrong with that. You have enough power, empowerment within you, and that you are capable of reaching any of your dreams.
Is there anything blah, 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 sorry, anything other than these tongue twisters, social innovation, outside of the work element? Is there anywhere else you would like to see women pursue?
Well, with regards to girls, I typically want my platform to just encourage them to step out of their comfort zone.
Okay.
So by me competing in this pageant, I'm hoping that I'll be able to encourage other girls to know that there is no typical pageant queen. It's all about just doing something for yourself and helping yourself to better yourself. So, because obviously we're learning how to speak and how to be better persons in society. So I'm hoping that by doing this, I can tell other girls from my experience what it's like to compete in a pageant and how they can empower themselves to therefore try that someday.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashley. All right, Jada, if there was a platform that you were basing your pageant stance on, what would that platform be?
Oh, I actually do have a platform.
Okay. My apologies, I didn't have it in the bio. So.
It's okay. My platform is based on representing Cayman's youth because I believe that they don't have a voice and they don't have a say in current justice issues or decisions or politics that's going on in the Cayman Islands. And I think it's important that we all have a say because we are the future. Children are the future. So I believe that we should give them the opportunity to voice their opinions and make them feel more involved in what's happening in their society.
What are some of the vehicles you think they could use to express their opinions? I mean, social media is one of the elements that the young do have. Is there anything else you believe?
Yes, social media is a big one, but for my platform, I would like to partner with the Minister of Education, Miss Juliana O'Connor Connolly, and I'd like to go around schools and encourage the youths to get more involved in a youth parliament.
Okay.
Yes, that's really important. And I plan on implementing a news hour in every school, and in that hour, every individual can voice different problems they think that the island is facing. And by doing this, they will have a voice and they will feel more involved.
It's a great initiative. Given that we're a radio station, so news hour is actually a great line. How would a news hour, would that be like through the intercom system of the school, or how would
I would say more like maybe the teacher asking them what is going on, and then they can transfer that to me or Miss Juliana O'Connor. So something like that.
Great. Alrighty. Thank you. Miss Monina?
Yes.
Back to you, the latter part of your message here was she wants to send a message to everyone that the only limitations there are the ones we set on ourselves. So we should go for what you choose, even if it scares you.
Yes.
Now, this goes back to your statements earlier about the confidence element and stepping out of a shell, so to speak. Walk us through a bit more what that means to you, that line. I know we've touched a bit on it earlier, but walk us through why that's so important to you.
That's so important to me because that's actually me speaking to myself. I'm aware of my own downfalls and things I need to improve on. And also I'm aware that at times I can be quite hard on myself. And so me entering the pageant, that's something I was scared of, but I did it anyways because at the end of the day, no one's stopping you. It's just yourself. So that's what it meant to me. And I apply that in everywhere in life. A lot of the times, because we have a limited time to prepare for this pageant, I didn't have time to think about it or to, be like, no, I don't want to do it. I know what I wanted going into the competition, so it was constantly self-motivation, pushing myself, and reminding myself why I was doing it.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Ms. Shade, back to your platform. Shade's platform is based on self-love, as she feels that she has struggled with this concept due to her condition, Graves' disease. People should not have to feel like they are less than, and so she wants to encourage others to embrace their natural beauty. Shade's favorite quote is, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." What does all that mean? Because it's a very powerful quote that you guys made there. What does that mean to you? And when you say be the change you wish to see in the world, what does that change mean to you?
Okay, so being that I struggled with the concept of self-love, it just means that you have to push yourself to do what you want to do in life and not let anything hold you back. So by doing this, by being the change, you will hopefully impact the lives of others. So this is why I'm doing it, so that I can help others to just push forward. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Very powerful. Thank you so much today. All right, on that note, we'll take a quick short break and we'll come back. We'll have some a little more hard-hitting questions for our contestants. Be back with more talk today right after this.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Community radio with a different appeal. The voice of the people. Security through adversity. Stuck on you. Radio for all time.
You're listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
The Cayman Islands government's new Solicitor General is Reshma Sharma, who was appointed to the position starting August 1st, 2019, after an open recruitment process. Ms. Sharma is now also the Portfolio of Legal Affairs Chief Officer, with responsibility for all operations of the portfolio, including budget and personnel matters. In international headlines, a man brandishing a fake gun took dozens of hostages on a bus in Brazil, threatening to set the vehicle on fire with gasoline before police shot him dead in a 4-hour standoff that was broadcast live on television. All of the hostages were freed unharmed in the confrontation, which unfolded on an 8-mile-long bridge linking Rio de Janeiro to the Niterói municipality across the Guanabara Bridge. The European Union and Britain, which are hurtling toward a costly, damaging no-deal split in little over 2 months, kicked off a high-wire week of diplomacy today by entrenching themselves deeper in their irreconcilable positions, highlighting new British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's determination to leave the bloc on October 31st, even if no Brexit divorce deal is in place. His government said as of September 1, it would stop attending all EU meetings where its vital interests were not at stake. Johnson's Downing Street office doubled down on the message later, stating that unless the trade backstop on the Irish border was abolished, quote, there's no prospect of a deal. The EU, which is not known for its speedy diplomacy, took only half a day to rebuff a 4-page proposal by Johnson on breaking a deadlock over ensuring a transparent border between the EU's Ireland and the UK's Northern Ireland. The bloc said one key part of the proposal was incorrect and another misleading. Those are your headlines. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music, and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for today's show, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio 4 of our 5 contestants for this coming weekend's Miss Teen Cayman pageant. And we've been meeting the contestants previously for the last hour and getting a better in-depth look at their personal biographies and why they've entered the contest or the pageant. I keep saying the word contest, and I apologize. It's not a contest, it's a pageant. But now we've thrown a bit of a curveball at them, and we have put together a series of random questions. The contestants have not seen these questions, so they don't know. They have no background, and this will be selected completely at random. So we're going to start with Miss Ashley, who we've started with previously. And your question for you is... Oh, here's a good one. What bothers you most about what is happening in your country today, and what do you plan to do about it? And take a few seconds to compose yourself. Oh, sure. What bothers you most about what is happening in your country today? And what do you plan to do about it?
Okay, well, thank you for your question. I think the thing that bothers me the most in my country is the lack of understanding and the age gap between our younger generation and our older generation. I feel that today in our society, our older generation is not as accepted of our younger generation, and they don't quite understand everything that we're going through. Yes, it's understandable that you guys have went through that state of mind and you've been there, done that. But I guess with the advancements in technology, we've been like more aware to a lot of things that are going on now, and we have fingertip access to anything. So we have like quite a bit of a grasp of knowledge that you guys were not aware of at the time. So I feel like that age gap between the two of us caused a lot of lack of connection and lack of understanding, which then leads to a lot of disruption and violence within our community because we don't understand each other, and we feel that we have to take out our violence or our anger on others because there's no like one-on-one understanding amongst the two. So I feel that if we were to like get together more often and like speak on topics that we feel are different from back then and like communicate effectively with our older generation, it would reduce the amount of problems that are going on in our generation.
Great, thank you. That's a very eloquent answer. Thank you so much. If there was an audience here, they'd be clapping right now. All right, next up, it's all completely done at random. So we have Miss Jada. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. All right. What is the biggest, very similar to your answer there, what is the biggest challenge to young people today, and how can young people address it? Let me repeat the question for you.
Yes, please.
What is the biggest challenge to young people today, and how can young people address it?
Thank you for that question. I believe the biggest challenge to young people today is a lack of education and the amount of violence that's going on in the Cayman Islands. For education-wise, I believe that there's not enough resources here, or it's just because young people are not...
Take your time. Sorry. There's no rush. Take your time. I can read the question for you. What is the biggest challenge to young people today, and how can young people address it? And I believe you mentioned it was education and violence.
Yes, of course. It's education and violence. I say education because young people are not pushed enough, I believe, to obtain an education, to obtain a degree, to move on from high school education and get an associate's degree. So I believe that no one can push them to do it. I think they have to motivate themselves, and I think they have to go and try to be their best selves and thrive to fulfill their true potential. So I think they have to push themselves, and no one else can. So, yeah.
That's great. I mean, ultimately, it comes down to their ability to empower themselves, to grow. Now, you mentioned violence. Is there something that young people can do to address the violence that young people are facing?
Yes, violence. I believe that they should limit the amount of time they spend on violent video games because, yes, of course, because they feel like it's okay because it's on a game. So I think that even parents should restrict the access of violent video games, and they should take the responsibility to restrict the use of violent video games as well.
Great. Thank you, Jada.
You're welcome.
All righty. Miss Monina, your question. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. I promise to our listeners, these questions are not, the answers are not leading to these questions, but here's your question, Ms. Monina. What would you say is the biggest problem facing our educational system today, and how do you suggest it can be addressed?
Great question.
Don't you repeat the question?
Sure.
What would you say is the biggest problem facing our educational system today, and how do you suggest it can be addressed?
Thank you for your question. I believe the biggest issue that the education faces today is the lack of options. Here in Cayman, it's very centered around finance and tourism, and also a lot of the topics are generalized, which can be a beneficial thing because some students don't know exactly which field they want to go into, but for the students who know exactly where they would like to go, they have to go through a lot of processes and subjects and stages in order to get to specializing in that area. And also when it comes to deferring from the typical jobs of being lawyer and doctors, like when it comes to performance arts, there's not really that well-known center or courses you can take that specializes in that. And I believe that if we do implement those programs or those opportunities for students to partake in things that they are passionate about, then, it prevent them from going overseas, and we can actually keep our students here.
Great. That's a great answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Shade, you ready? Take a deep breath. Here we go. Do you think technology is hurting personal relationships? If so, how should social media and technology be addressed? Would you like me to ask that again?
Sure.
Do you think technology is hurting personal relationships? And if so, how should social media and technology be addressed?
Thank you for that question.
You're welcome.
No, I do not think that technology is hurting personal relationships because I feel that this is a way of communication and it...
Take your time. There's no rush at all.
It makes it easier for us to keep in contact with our loved ones. So I feel that it is not hurting personal relationships.
Okay. So you feel there's no need to address social media and technology?
No.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much for that answer.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Ready for the next series of questions, ladies?
Yes.
We have another 20 minutes to go. We got plenty more time.
Let's go.
Alrighty. Here we go. See, I'm getting the motivation here. Alrighty. Next up. Very easy question. Do you have, Ms. Ashley, do you have a favorite motivational speaker or motivational speaker, but person of celebrity-ish status that you would say is a mentor? And
So definitely, I would say Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
One, because of her background. So in primary school, we did like a motivational speech and who we thought best inspired us. And for me, it has always been Oprah Winfrey just because of what she's went through.
Okay.
Like, she's been through so many bad things and she's still come out to be the best that she can be. And I think this just for me highlights the fact that no matter what happens or no matter what I go through, I can still strive to be what I want to be.
Great. Thank you so much. Miss Jada, do you have a favorite motivational speaker or person of celebrity or status that you would look up to as a person to embody?
I wouldn't say I have a celebrity
Okay.
motivational speaker that I look up to. So I don't know if I can answer your question.
Please, by all means.
Okay. Well, the motivational speaker I look up to is my mother because
Great.
she's a hardworking person and she taught me the life lesson of working for what you have, because if you don't work for what you have, it will be taken away from you easily. So she's been through some hard challenges in her life, and I believe that if she made it through and became the strong person she is today, that anyone can do it, and she just motivates me every day to do my best and make her proud. So she's my motivational speaker.
That's a great answer. Miss Monina, same question. Do you have a favorite motivational speaker or celebrity or status, or, to clarify my question even further now, person that you look up to?
Yes. So, not per se motivational speaker, but more of his actions, which was Gandhi. That's someone I look up to because in the time when there's complications with the UK and India, he stood up for his people, and he did a lot of not riots, rebellions. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry. My brain blanked just there. But rebellions that he stood up for what he believed in, and it was unheard of. Back then you just took what was given to you. And so that motivates me to not conform to society, and to stand up when you believe something's important, obviously. And so he's someone I look up to, and I keep in the back of my mind whenever I'm going through something.
Great, thank you. Ms. Shade, same question to you. Do you have a favorite motivational speaker or person you look up to, whether it be celebrity status or someone within your personal life?
Thank you for that question.
You're welcome.
No, I don't have a motivational speaker per se, but I do have a role model, and that is my grandmother. I look up to her because she is just such a compassionate person, and she always tries to do the most that she can for others, and it is just really something that I wish to embody. She's not only strong, but I think that she's also just resilient because she goes through everything and she always remains composed.
That's
great. Yes.
Shade, thank you so much for that answer.
Thank you.
All right, ladies, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to actually answer those random for listeners at home, these ladies had no idea these questions were coming,
Yes.
so this was on the spot, and you did fantastic with that.
Thank
On
you.
that note, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be closing off this segment with our Miss Teen contestants. Be back with more Talk Today right after this.
Parents, do you know what time it is? It's the most wonderful time of the year. But it's not Christmas time. But school is nearly back in session. Is your child ready for the school year? Stop by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village and pick up all of your child's stationery supplies. With 30% off selected items, you won't need to break the bank to get your little one prepared for the school year. You have enough to worry about. Make back to school a breeze with Savannah Pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, or call 946-3336.
The Cayman Islands Seafarers Association wishes to inform all members that there will be a general meeting on Tuesday, August 20th at 7:30 p.m. in the Seafarers Hall, 11 Victory Avenue, Prospect. There will be 3 buses from West Bay Town Hall, which leaves at 6 p.m. The Barnes bus route in Georgetown leaves the public library parking area at 6:45 p.m., stopping at the Cayman Compass Building and the Airport Fosters. The bus, marked Bobo $1 public transport and is blue in color, picks up from British Caymanian, Uncle Bill's, Walker's Road, Shedden Road, and Crew Road. The bus from East End pickups are the school parking lot, the gas station, and Wreck of the 10 sales starting at 5:45. Northside pickups are at Chisholm Store and the soccer field starting at 6:15. The Bodden Town pickup is at Lorna's gas station at 6:45 and the Savannah pickups at gas station at 7 p.m.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Pure and cleaner.
Now reintroducing eco-friendly green Garmento fabric bags, which can be used as your clothes cover, traveling bag, etc. Also, get your fabric shirt boxes that can hold up to 10 folded shirts. And for those other shirts, put them on hangers with an eco-friendly poly cover. All bags are biodegradable. Puritan Cleaners. 3 convenient locations to serve you. Countryside, Savannah, 946-1884. Elgin Avenue, beside Off the Peg, 949-2452. 337 Eastern Avenue. Drive through, rain or shine. 949-7104. Free pickup and delivery. Ask for ongoing discounts. Puritan Cleaners. You feel good when you look good.
This is JJ the Iceman. This is JJ the Iceman.
Weeknights on Radio Cayman, 8 to 10.
Music
on
Express.
Friday nights, 8 to midnight.
Music Express. Radio Cayman's Music Express is brought to you by Taster's Choice, home of the $3 meal special.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
Headlines.
All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news. Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Radio Cayman News.
Headlines.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in for the tail end of our show, I am Raymond Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And we have in studio 4 of our 5 contestants for this coming weekend's Miss Teen Cayman pageant. And we've just put them under the microscope, and they've done fantastic here. We have one more series of questions for them before they make their exit today. And we'll start again with Miss Ashley. And this is it's a very personal question, and please take a few moments if you need to. What makes you different from the other women competing here today? What sets you apart from the other women competing here today?
Okay, thank you for your question. Whilst I believe that all of the girls competing in the pageant are just as brilliant and beautiful, yes. I think for me what kind of sets me apart is my experience in a lot of these sectors. I've been quite involved in a lot of public speaking, and I mean there are times when I'll get like nervous and stuff, but I'm quite confident in myself, and I feel like my level of confidence and determination and drive that I have is what kind of pushes me a little bit ahead, because I feel like I'm very confident and I'm not trying to doubt myself. I'm just going to go into this pageant and do the very best that I can. So definitely for me, it'd be my experience and my level of determination and drive.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashley, and all the best for this coming weekend.
Thank you.
Miss Jada.
Yes.
You ready? Same question to you. What makes you different or sets you apart from the other women competing here today?
As Ashley said, all these ladies are beautiful and amazing, and we've truly grown into a sisterhood throughout this pageant, and I'm so happy that I got to do this with them. But I think what distinguishes me from the rest of them is my confidence and my drive, my love for this kind of things. Like, as I said, I love to be in the limelight. I love performing on stage. So I think my high level of confidence and my love for the limelight distinguishes me from the rest of them.
That's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Miss Bonina, same question to you. What makes you different or sets you apart from the other women competing here today?
Yes, I definitely have to salute them before I answer. They've definitely helped me a lot throughout this competition, and it's great having that support. But we do have a good balance between knowing that we're here in a pageant, but we're also, pageant sisters, which is, for me, it's really corny to say, but it's honestly true.
No, that's great.
Yeah. For me, I think what sets me apart is my experience, not in skills, but in life experiences. It allows me to be to resonate and have compassion with other people, and to really understand different scenarios, different situations that they go through. I love people connecting with little kids up to teenagers to adults, and I feel that it's very important to be able to connect with the people who chose you to be in that position in the first place. And it's nice to know that there's someone out there who understands and can resonate with where they're coming from, no matter what struggle they've been through life. So yeah, I believe that's what sets me apart.
Great. Thank you so much. Ms. Day, same question to you. What makes you different or sets you apart from the other women competing here today?
What sets me apart is that I have a autoimmune disease, and I'm using this to my advantage, that I am using it to encourage other girls to just push forward and do what you want to do, and not let anything hold you back, especially your disability or condition. So this is definitely something that sets me apart from the other girls.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We do appreciate it. I do want to take this moment. Unfortunately, she was not able to attend today's session due to work commitments, but she is a member of the pageant this year, and that is Miss Amelia Lamy. She is, I'm just going to read her biography just so our listeners at home have an understanding of who she was. She did get off scot-free with not having to answer some of those hard questions.
Right? She's so lucky.
She got a little lucky there. But Miss Amelia is proudly representing the historical district of Bodden Town. She describes herself as a team player, committed, and outgoing person. She is passionate about art and hopes to become a technical architect or a lawyer in the future. Adventurous at heart, Amelia has an interest in traveling to places one could only imagine. She also enjoys singing in her spare time. Amelia hopes to use her voice to inspire each other to be better and to advocate for organizations that help with mentoring young women and girls to increase awareness in the development of their character. Being an advocate and an implementer, she hopes that by sharing her opinions and implementing programs will assist in making a contribution for females to be more involved. She wants all young women and girls to remember that it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. What truly matters is who you are on the inside. Amelia hopes that her positivity and determination is used as an example for anyone who anticipates in embarking on the same journey. Her favorite quote is, "Never allow fear to prevent you from achieving your goals. Always believe in yourself and never give up on something you wish to accomplish." She lives by the motto, "Be the best version of yourself." So that was Miss Amelia Lamy. And ladies, again, thank you so much for taking the opportunity to come in this today, and we do appreciate how difficult this journey, or not difficult may be the best word, but how challenging this journey is. And all the best on the pageant this weekend. I'm sure you have a bright future long past this coming Saturday.
Thank you.
And for remind our listeners at home, the pageant for Miss Teen Cayman Islands is this coming Saturday, August 24th at the Lions Community Center. The gates open at 5:30 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. Admission is $15 pre-sold or $20 at the gate for ages 6 through 12 years old. General admission is $25 pre-sold or $30 at the gate, and premium seating is $40 pre-sold or $50 at the gate. Tickets are available at Funky Tangs, Lorna's Rubus, The Finishing Touch, Singh's Roti Shop, and of course Event Pro. And a big shout out as well to all of the sponsors that have supported this event, from the Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports, Agriculture and Lands, Digicel, Marshall's Rent-A-Car, Grand Ole House, The Finishing Touch, King Sports Center, Radio Cayman, Rubus, Eclipse Hair Design and Day Spa, Island Embroidery, CUC, and Margaritaville Beach Resort. On that note, we do need to call it a wrap for Talk Today. I'm sorry. By all means, please. I actually made a great point there of announcing their individual respective sponsors.
Yes.
Miss Ashley, if you can.
So I would just like to do a huge shout out to my sponsor, APS Security. Thank you for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to compete in this pageant. I'd also like to do a quick shout out to all my family and friends who've been supporting me along on my journey. Once again, I'm contestant number 1, Ashley Gooden, representing the Agricultural and Historical District of Bordentown.
That's great.
I would like to say a huge thank you to my main sponsor, Partyville. Thank you for making my dreams of competing in this year's Miss Teen pageant a reality. And I'd like to thank my family and my best friend, Brianna Stevenson. I wouldn't be doing this pageant without her. So, yes. And make sure you guys are out there on August 24th.
That's great. Miss Bonina.
I would like to send my deepest gratitude and love to my anonymous sponsor. They asked me to be the voice of mental health, which is perfect because I'm studying psychology. And so I just hope I'm making them proud, and I want them to know that this wouldn't have been possible without them.
That's great. Thank you so much.
On behalf of Amelia, I want to say a shout out to Grape Tree Cafe for believing in her. She's ever so grateful for your sponsorship.
That's great.
I would just like to say thank you to my sponsor, Impressions Beauty Salon, for seeing the potential in me and helping me along this journey. I'd also like to thank my family and my friends for supporting me along the way.
That's great. Ladies, thank you so much again. And,
Thank
and
you.
big shout out to all of the sponsors that have supported these ladies on this journey. On that note, again, we do need to call it a wrap for Talk Today this afternoon. Thank you again to all of our loyal listeners out there in Radio Cayman Nation, and to our guests from the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, Stephen Duvall from the HSA, and to our contestants from the Miss Teen Cayman Islands pageant. We do wish them all the best this coming weekend, as well as Team Cayman tomorrow night in their Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifier debut at 7:30 p.m. against Dominica. And, of course, again, a big thank you to our former Miss Cayman contestant herself and our show and the lady behind the controls, Miss Susan Watson. Yep, she's blushing back there now. It was a pleasure filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, who will be back in studio tomorrow. I'm Raymond Singh. God bless and have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
After all that talk, sit back, relax,